Okay. Hi, everyone. No messing about this time, so hopefully we've gone live. If somebody can give me a thumbs up in the chat or just to say hi, so I know I'm live this time after the mess I got myself into last time. Good. So it looks like it's okay. I know there's a bit of a delay. So I'd just like to welcome everybody. So our special guest is Tom from Knife Delight. As I'm sure you'll have seen him not just from his channel, but from RJ's lives and Big J's lives. So really great to have Tom here. And also my regulars, so Naked Sean and Randy. So great to have you both here. Just can I have a quick look in the chat just to see who's here already. So we have Mrs. Naked Sean. Great to have you here. Kathleen as well. Pepper Dingo and Tony Blading Wales. Great to have you here as well. And Eric Starr. Hi Eric. Great to have you here. And Jason Beecher. I think Jason was one of the. Oh no, it was Marco who was here first. Hi Marco. Just checking if I've got everybody.
Marco.
I think that's everybody there for now, so that's brilliant.
Mikey just showed up.
I miss Mikey. Hi, Baldy's Blades. Great to have you here, Mikey, as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Mikey's one of the guests we want to line up. He's had a lot of exposure on live streams recently, but I think it'd be great to get him on. Okay, great to get him on here as well. So, so just to start with a little bit about what this would be about, it'd be similar to the one with Terry from Terry's Knives and Man Stuff. So hopefully we get to learn a little bit more about Tom. So I'm sure you've seen his videos. We'll find a little bit about why he started his channel and a bit about how long he's been going and some of the channels that he watches. And hopefully we see a lot of knives along the way as well. It would be great if we could start off with a pocket check. So what have you been carrying today, Tom?
Oh, well, I'm carrying light today because it's Sunday and I'm not going out, but in my right pocket, I got a nice Texas Jack here. Nice blue bone, good blue bone.
Nice. Oh, that's very nice.
And this was a gift to me. What a nice knife. Big, heavy-duty knife.
What's the maker? It almost looks like a Frost because of that blue.
It is. It's a Frost.
Okay, I love like Frost. Their colors. They do beautiful blue and reds.
Yep.
That's a fantastic knife.
And then my constant companion, always with me, is my Evo Grip 11. And this is the first knife that goes in my pocket every day. I always have this knife. Of course, it's, got your standard blades to it. I won't go through all of it. But I do like the Evo Grip 11. I like the contouring here. And putting that black rubbery type stuff there helps with the grip. And I just think it makes it look really sharp. It's my understanding they stopped making the Evo Grip series, however.
Yeah, I think they have. You can still get quite a few around though, but
yeah. And when we get into EDC later, I'll tell you the story about me and my journey with Victorinox and EDC. But,
brilliant.
Those are the two knives I have right now.
That's great. So, thanks, Tom.
Perfect choices.
And Randy, what are you carrying today?
So I decided to do some really awful challenge where I carry only one knife for a month. So.
And you're sounding a bit Dalek-like, Randy, again.
That's probably fitting. I'm carrying the 301 the whole month.
Yeah.
I've been switching out. I have a Dio Drio pouch.
I have one just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have an Olight pen and an Olight flashlight. Really great. Sometimes I throw it in. I think you have this too. It's a Viper 8 pouch.
I do. It's a great
I really like this. this is what I had planned on carrying the whole month. Oops, everything's falling out. Was I have a compact in there, I have an Olight, I have a charger, I had a pie bar, I had a bunch of medicine just in case, I have a Hank, and I do want to show the Hank. This is a member of the community, he sent this to me.
Oh, one of Jake's, yeah? That's cool.
Yep, uncommon EDC, so this is my Hank that I'm carrying. And I'll switch out pouches, I'm still just trying to carry just the 301 till October. And then it's all Halloween knives. So that's it.
That's great.
But that's fit perfect in there.
Oh, it fits perfectly in there. Yeah, that's great.
Oh yeah, really nice.
Thanks, Randy. Randy, I'm just gonna try muting you a bit just to see if we can just stop the crackling.
Oh.
Just while we're.
I'll just.
No, the crackling's still there though. Can everybody else hear the crackling? I'm just.
Yeah.
Okay. I can
I'm not quite sure. Yeah.
I can reconnect if that's better.
Okay, thanks,
go ahead,
Randy.
Sean, I'll be back.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Sean. Sean, what are you carrying today?
Yes. So I'm still carrying the knife I chose for the one knife for a month challenge, which is the CK Premium Stock Knife, 3-blade. So you've got the clip, the sheep's foot, and a pen blade.
Oh, that's really nice. Sorry, Sean.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, bone covers. So this one is a Italian made. Carl. Now my brain's gone. Kemmerling, German maker.
Right. Ah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was one I picked up in an antique shop several years ago. I think I've shown this for the last few weeks, but it's part of this one knife for a month challenge. But yeah, I haven't completely stuck to it because I've been carrying a secondary knife as well.
Yeah,
which has always been a Victorinox. And today's one is Sportsman, which is a 84mm, very similar to a Recruit, but you get the back tools. And instead of a small pen blade, you get a file. So you've got the main blade, the opening layer, but this is a file instead of a pen blade or a small pen blade.
Yeah.
And then you get the corkscrew and the awl as well.
Oh, that's cool.
It's nice little compact carry, useful set of tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And scale tools with it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Sean. And my carry, I've sort of switched out because I walked the dog earlier with my son and grandsons and got absolutely soaked. So my wallet was soaked, and so I've been drying it out. So this is just a it says Kozabate. I think this was a Temu special. So I'm using this as my wallet. And the one knife that I picked, and for those that aren't aware, and maybe you weren't, Tom, I set up a September challenge, which was to just carry one knife and one knife only. And a few people are doing it. I think that Elan has just stopped, but he was using just one knife for everything, which was an Opinel.
Which is terrible.
John,
Oh, that's nice.
John at JO Ventures, he's doing it as well. So this is the Farmer X Alox, which is a fantastic knife. It has scissors, a saw, a large blade, the usual cap lifter, bottle opener, and then the thing that I like most about the Alox knives is that you get the inline awl, which is really useful. It's great for opening packages as well as making holes in wood or leather. But I think there's something special about the Alox ones. You lose the scale tools, but they just have a nice feel about them. They're very tactile, and the look is almost like a sort of a throwback to. It could, well, I think it's timeless. It could be from the 20s or 30s or 50s, and it's just great. Have you got one there, Randy? Yeah.
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 It's the Swiss Army 2. Well, first off, is my sound better?
Yes, much better.
Exterminate. This is the Swiss Army 2, and this was a gift from Retro Stew.
Yeah.
Just a spear point.
Yeah.
But what really makes it really awesome is it has little hog.
It's fantastic. Do you know what? I just placed an order for that during Slippy and Thrifty's show. I remember that he said last week that they were on special offer on Cock and Cocking, but I think Slippy bought up half of the ones there, so it went out of stock. I checked today and they were back in stock, so I've just placed an order for one of those and for an Alox Classic SD as well.
You cannot find these in the US easily.
Ah, right, yeah. Because that hook blade is great. It's on the Army 7 as well, and it is so useful. Yeah, I know Slippy's been doing some mods and some custom sacks, and he's been using some of those.
I can't wait to see.
Great thing. And so just before we get any further, just to do a beverage check, because this is the Gear and Beer, and that's me that's having a beer. So as you're our guest, Tom, what are you drinking?
I've got a Pepsi Cola.
Perfect.
Okay. Actually, here we go.
Okay, perfect. I mean, I did used to work for the Blue Company.
Okay.
I worked for them for 7 years and got used to drinking a lot of Pepsi Max. So that's good. And how about you, Sean? What have you got today?
So I've got a Wainwright Gold.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I better pop this crown cap off.
That is the main reason why a lot of us
Just
carry
cheers.
Victorinox, actually, because you always have a cap lifter, or 2 or 3. Yeah. I find. Cheers, Sean.
Even the twist.
Great. And Randy, what have you got?
I have a Modelo Black. I figured I'd go a little bit south. It's a medium lager. It has kind of like a roasted taste to it. Yeah. And I was actually a nursing teacher, and when I was in school, introduced me to this, and it's perfect. It has a little bit of a coffee flavor to it, almost. Yeah.
It's my favorite Mexican beer. When I'm in Mexico, I always ask for a Modelo Negra, and they are just brilliant. I love them. Great choice, Randy. Yeah, they're not easy to find over here in the UK. You can, but you have to hunt them out. Yeah. I've got a really cloudy beer today. So this is a Weiss beer, and it's a supermarket special. It's from Lidl, and it's their premium one. And what I like about it, if I can show here, it's a German beer, so it meets the purity. So that's really good, and it's a 5%. So
I don't even know what Modelo is. So it's probably like 5% too.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the beverages out of the way. So I'll be sipping at this throughout the show. Which is what I do when I watch live shows. I normally have a beer on the go, which is nice.
And it's fun just to kind of relax, and you don't, there's no pressure for anyone. Pepsi is perfect.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
doesn't
thing.
drink a beer. I think that's rather people just feel comfortable as a whole.
Yeah, that's fine. As I say, it's gear and beer because I'm going to have a beer when I do this, and
beer.
It made me feel less nervous when I was on my first lives. I think my first live with Paddy, I had a beer on the go as well. So let's get into finding out a little bit more about Tom. That would be great.
Yeah.
And so Tom, what was your first knife? Can you remember that?
As far as I can tell, this knife right here, this Boy Scout knife, was my very first knife. And I probably bought it when I was 11 or 12 years old, somewhere in there. So it probably would have been bought sometime in 1970, 71, somewhere in there. And I just did a video on this a couple weeks ago. I went out to the lake where, for one of my Boy Scout merit badges, I had to cook a meal. So I went and cooked a meal for my dad. And of course, you got the can opener, so I'm sure I opened a can of pork and beans, one of his favorite foods. And so I just kind of recreated making that meal out there using this knife. So that was a lot of fun.
Good.
So
that's amazing. And that's
as
like the American Swiss Army knife, isn't it, really?
It is. It is. That's what they kind of call it.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, that was my first knife that I can ever remember buying. And my first fixed blade, I certainly remember buying this. And this is an Edge brand, imported from Germany. And I can't remember the name of the import company, but there was like 3 different brands. There was Edge brand, and then 2 or 3 others. And this was kind of like middle of the road in the quality. But it's got the stag handle on it and everything. And it's the model 461. And then there's the sheath there.
Oh, that's really cute, isn't it?
Yeah, I tell you, I always tell everyone I was probably 14, 15 years old when I bought this, and I thought I was, I don't know, Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett all rolled up into one. I thought I was something with this knife,
I can understand it. It's got a nice shape to it, a nice,
it does.
Nice size,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure.
And it just shows you that they don't need to be huge knives, do they?
No, they don't. They don't. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And I think I think we did yours last time, Sean, didn't we? Randy, do you remember your first knife?
I don't know if I should tell the story because it's kind of weird.
We like weird.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I was in kindergarten. It's a weird story. And I'm taking a bath. And I'll tell my other knives after that, but so I'm taking a bath and I can hear my friend, he's knocking on the door, and I hear him, and my mom tells him I'm taking a bath. He's like, "That's okay, I gotta show him something." He slams open the door and I jump up out of the tub. He's like, "Look what I found!" And he found this. I want to say, I don't know, it could have been material. It was just a black slip joint, one blade.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, "Check this out." I'm standing there. He's like, "Oh, cool. Can I have it?" He's like, "Yeah." All right, get out. I need to finish taking my bath. But sisters took it away from me because I was too little. But my first actual knife that somebody bought for me, my mom bought me a hobo knife.
Okay.
Work, and I love that thing so much. But I had tricked her.
Yeah.
I told her there wasn't a knife on it. I told her it was just a fork and spoon. So she bought it. I was, she knew. She had never known.
Yeah.
But,
Randy, I had a hobo knife too, and I lost it. I wished I knew where that knife was. I loved that thing as a kid.
I had it forever. I really did.
Yep.
Yeah. But as an adult, though, okay. So first memory I have of a knife that I go to, my uncle bought me a bayonet from a surplus.
Right.
and I think it's for an M4, and it was my favorite knife. And then somebody stole it.
Okay.
But Jesse McJames got something very similar to it recently, so that was really awesome for him.
Oh, that's awesome.
The first knife I ever bought myself, though, with my own money, was a Victorinox camper.
Yeah.
And I was over in Switzerland, and that was like I had no money for lunch. It was just I was barely able to get over there, and I was so blessed to be able. And I had some spare money once I got over there.
Yeah.
So I skipped lunch and got a Swiss Army knife, and it was a camper, and I had my name engraved on it. And
Oh, that's cool.
so that's my first official knife.
Yeah, I think I've said previously. I think I've lost most of the knives. Well, I think all of the knives I had as a kid because I used to go fishing and climbing trees, and I was always losing stuff. But I think mine was just a sort of an Alox probably type, but a more generic version of that I got from the local market. And which was your first knife, Sean?
So my first knife is, well, this isn't the exact one, but this is one like it.
Yeah.
Which was a Richards.
Oh, nice.
Ah, that was it. Yeah.
Camp knife.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another camp knife. Yeah.
Opening layers.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have the clevis or bail on the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
And then you have the fish descaler and disgorger tip at the end.
Oh, that's different.
I haven't seen that one.
As a young boy, 7 years old, thought I was king of the world with this one.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, that's quite a big knife for a 7-year-old.
The one like it.
Yeah. Oh, what have you got, Randy?
So this is my camper.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I got it, like I said, I got it in Switzerland. Had my name on there.
Ah, brilliant.
I carried that forever. That was my only knife for I got it in 1999.
Well, I think that's what most normal people do is they have one knife, maybe a standard, maybe a slip joint or a lock knife and a fixed blade. But most normal people, that's all they have. And for some people, I think that's all they had the whole life, especially back in the day. You wouldn't have spare money for things like that. That was one of the reasons for why I did the one knife challenge, was just to think back to that when people did just have that. So that's how you started then, Tom. So when did you get into collecting knives, and how has your collection developed over the years?
I guess it was 2017 or 2018, somewhere in there. It's not been that long in the big scheme of things.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I started watching YouTube channels and watching knife reviews, and all of a sudden the knife collecting bug bit me, and for better or worse, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's just been quite a journey ever since then.
So that's, sorry, I'm trying not to do Jesse math. So that's like 7 years you've been collecting.
Yeah.
So
right. In 7 or 8, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Ah, interesting. So you built up, because you've got quite a few now. How many knives do you think you have in your collection?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
I've got, and I'm just guesstimating, just in the buck knives, I have 100 to 150 at least, I would say.
Wow.
Now, some of them are the same pattern, just a variation of the pattern. So I probably have at least 80 or 90 different patterns, I would think. I don't know. I haven't counted or looked, but
yeah.
So
and do you have a grail pattern that you're still looking for?
You know what? Maybe this is a good time to show it, Mark, because one of my Grail knives I just received this summer. And it was a gift. My, hold on here. My father passed away in May.
Yeah, we were sorry to hear that.
And the online knife community got together and raised funds and bought a custom Buck 124 in memoriam to my dad. And this was one of my Grail knives.
Oh wow! And I think, was this Byron that
Byron Kennedy spearheaded the project. Yes, from Splitting Slices.
Yeah.
And there's my dad's name and 1930 to 2024.
Oh, fantastic! I know a lot of us were more than happy to contribute, Tom, because
well, and
you know,
thanks to everybody. I never did a video announcing everyone that contributed because there might be some that didn't want their name out there. So I've just been telling everyone, you know who you are. Thank you so much. I mean, brought tears to my eyes. I've shown it to my mother, brought tears to her eyes. Two of my brothers have seen it. I got one more brother that hasn't seen it yet. But someday when we get all four of us brothers together, we'll do another video with this because this was just simply outstanding. So not only did Byron coordinate raising the funds for that, he also made this presentation box. And it's hard to get it all in here.
Oh, it's fantastic.
But, it has a false bottom in it.
Oh, that's cool.
What we plan, I talked to my brothers already, what we plan on doing, putting a laminated copy of my dad's obituary in there. And then when I pass on, any surviving brother of mine, you know, the oldest surviving brother of mine will take it.
Yeah.
And when us brothers are all gone, it'll go to what would be my dad's oldest surviving grandson.
Yeah.
And then when all the male grandsons are gone, then it'll go to the oldest, greatest grandson. So
yeah,
that's what we plan on doing with this knife. And then everybody with that extra room in there, we can put almost like a little time capsule type thing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
But yeah, this is got the ebony handle and the brass, and I got to choose what handle material and whether brass or nickel silver, and I went with the brass and the ebony. Through their custom shop, I mean, you can get elk horn handles, all kinds of stuff. But I thought this had a simple elegance that would represent my dad. My dad was a simple man.
Yeah.
You know, grew up in the Depression, farmed, drove truck, just a hard-working, simple man. And I thought this represented him well. Nothing flashy.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks for showing it, Tom.
Yep, you bet.
So what's left for you to collect then, Tom? If you have so many bucks.
Thank you, Tom.
Well, there's like a Buck 107, and it's a small fixed blade, almost looks like a steak knife, almost. But they didn't make them for very long, and they didn't make that many of them. So it's just kind of the rarity. I've located a couple, but I just don't have the funds to purchase them yet.
This is the problem, isn't it? You know, there's so many knives and never enough.
Well, you know, yeah, you get into it, and I've quickly learned I can't get them all. There's just way too many models and variations of every model, and you just can't get them all.
Yeah, and so you don't just collect bucks though, as
no, I don't.
You collect some other. So
I sure do.
What other types do you collect?
Let's get to Victorinox here real quick, because this is I find it fascinating for myself. I'm a big buck collector, and yet the two most carried knives I will say that I've ever carried would be this Evo grip, and I've carried it for the last 6 or 7 years. And it replaced this Victorinox, which is the Economy Recruit. I bought that in 1988 in Hong Kong. And you can see it's been carried so much, the shield is even worn off of it.
Yeah.
And you see the blade there, it's been used. So I carried this for, what, 2 or 3, almost, over 2 decades.
Goodness,
So
that's nearly a Warncliffe, isn't it? That's been sharpened a few times.
No, that was a traditional spear point.
Yeah. It's heading towards being a Warncliffe, though, isn't it?
I don't carry this one anymore.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons I carried it was because I did a lot of fishing, and I always needed something to open up my can of beans or my can of soup, put on the fire. Yeah. So, So it's just kind of funny that my most used knives are Victorinox, hands down, even though I'm a buck collector and collect others.
Yeah.
And I got this one here just a little over a week ago.
Oh, okay.
This is the Victorinox Rescue Tool.
That one's really.
And it comes with this nylon pouch. Although I wear at work, I have tactical pants, so I have cargo pockets. So this slips right down into one of my cargo pockets. Just really nice.
Yeah.
And I got this because at work, I might need to have something like this.
Yeah.
So you got the one-handed opening blade, main blade. And what's different is the from the tip back is serrated almost to right here.
Yeah.
And then that's your actual cutting edge, which is just the opposite of most knives if they're serrated. Usually your cutting edge is up here with some serrations in the back. But you can see it's designed as a rescue knife.
Yeah.
You can also see that the tip here is somewhat blunt. Again, if you're having to rescue something and cut them out of something, you don't want to be poking them and injuring them with your knife blade.
Yeah.
So that's a safety feature for that. It is also a liner lock, so the main blade locks.
Yeah.
Okay. This, let's get to that last. This is a seatbelt cutter. And it's fully serrated.
Yeah.
And again, you can see that's blunt on the end. Again, if you're trying to get back behind the seatbelt to cut someone out, you don't want to be poking them. So this is designed, this won a 2007 award. I can't remember the name of it, some European show, kind of the European version of SHOT Show. This was the knife of the year in 2007. And Victorinox worked with a lot of first responders on the design of this knife.
Yeah.
That one does not lock. Then you got your glass breaker, which you can, break a side window, hopefully. But if you can't get through, you can hopefully poke a hole in the windshield. And if you get a hole poked in the windshield, then you have this. And that is a glass saw. So you get that poked down in your hole, and you can draw this towards you, and you can actually cut the windshield.
Really cool.
There's a lot of design into this.
Yeah. Sure.
Another great feature is your cap lifter and screwdriver blade.
Yeah.
Got the half stop there, but it locks. It's liner lock also. I don't know how well this picks it up, but this is a extra heavy duty. It's very big, very thick, heavy duty.
Yeah.
And it's tapered along here, if you can see that taper.
Yeah.
Okay, so what that is, if you can't get a hole punched in the windshield or the saw doesn't work, whatever, you can take your knife blade and cut the rubber seal around the windshield, and then you can use this as a pry bar to get down underneath and to pry the windshield out.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, it's very well designed. Both the glass breaker and the glass saw are replaceable, and they say it's very easy to do. I don't know. I haven't tried to do it yet, but you can take these off and put a new one on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Really handy.
Yep. And it does glow in the dark very well.
Oh, that's good. If you drop it or
no, I mean because they make this with black in the black covers, but I chose the bright neon yellow, and it does glow in the dark. So which is very handy if you happen to drop it or something like that.
Yeah.
It's easier to be found in the grass or leaves or whatever you might have dropped it into. So
I really like the pouch as well. That's a nice.
Yeah, it is. It's a very nice.
It looks like it belongs on. Oh, what was that American show about lifeguards?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Baywatch.
Baywatch. It looks like it should be on Baywatch. You know, which was the show that most people watched but weren't really interested in swimming or rescues. That was.
So here's your belt loop here, which is good because a first responder like a policeman is going to have a big, thick, heavy duty belt.
Yeah.
And you got plenty of room to get through there, so it'll fit on any belt. So
fantastic.
I thought you'd enjoy seeing that one, Mark.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. I've my latest purchase, which I've got around somewhere, but that's the Cheese Master, which is sort of the complete opposite of the rescue. It's been designed specifically for cheese. I need to do a video on it. I will do soon. I've been looking out for a small, which I've just bought at the weekend, a very small sort of wooden board that I can have with it to put in a rucksack to take it out.
That's perfect.
Right, yeah. So thanks. Yeah, I think everybody remembers Pamela from that. Let's just have a quick look just to see who else has joined the chat, because we've got quite a few people here and a lot of our favorites. Let me just go back. So oh geez, the chat's been busy. So Jason Beecher and Mrs. C, great to have you here, Mrs. C, and Dwayne Letterman.
Hey, Dwayne.
So his favorite Mexican beer is tequila, which just start off as beer until they distill it, and my company actually makes yeast that's used to make tequila. So that's good. Yeah, Mikey, we said. So we've also got Zen in the house as well, and Thrifty. So Thrifty's here. I know I'm not good at putting up the right things, but he said Sean, love the shirt as always. So that's great. Big E, the knife nut. So good to have you here. And of course, Andrew from Baxter's Blade. So I'll be trying to give Andrew a call to come on here sometime, because I did an MB Confidential with Andrew, and we asked similar questions to this, and he was brilliant. So anyway, great to have him on for some of the time.
Radar just showed.
Right. I'm getting down there. So Al Cap as well. So that's great.
Hey, the gang's all here.
Yeah, it's great. Most of my favorite people here, which is brilliant. And Stacy, so great to have you here. Great to have a few ladies in the in the chat as well. And Addicted to Blades, great to have you here, saying hi to everybody. And how am I doing? And Radar, great to have you here, Radar. Brilliant. So I think that's pretty much everybody from there. So let me just drop this off.
John, shut up.
Yeah, Sean.
John.
Have you got something? Pardon?
Oh, I said John showed up.
John.
John. Yeah, sorry.
John.
Now, John is also doing
Ventures.
the One Life Challenge, which is great, and he's been sticking with it. And Czech, I think, is it right? Is it Czech or Jerk from the Netherlands, who was on Slippy and Thrifty's show? He's been doing the One Life Challenge as well. So, and Stuart, great to have you here as well, Stuart. So that's fine. We've still got a fair way to go yet. We haven't got through many questions. Anyway, that's great. So, Tom, so your collection's been has been growing. You've got a lot of buck knives. So what made you start your your YouTube channel?
Well, one of my early favorite channels to ever watch was Knife Chats with Tobias.
Right.
And I used to watch him because he's just so knowledgeable and you know, I grew up with slip joint knives, but I didn't know all the different patterns. It wasn't a thing that you collected.
Yeah.
I don't know, here in rural America, every kid had a pocket knife. I mean,
Yeah.
from the time you were 10, 11 years old, you had a pocket knife, slip joint knife. Matter of fact, if I needed to cut something and if I'd ask my dad, hey, Dad, can I borrow your knife? He'd scowl at you and give you that look and like, where's yours, son? You know? So you were just expected. But so it was just fascinating to me to learn about all these different slip joint patterns.
Yeah.
And he did a video, something about the title was like, are there knives that you collect just to collect, not to use?
Yeah.
Well, at that point, I had gotten several of the Buck fixed blade knives. And I'm like, yeah, I collect these to have them as a collection and not to use them.
Yeah.
And I thought, gee, I wonder if I can do a video response to this.
Right.
So I did. I did a video response to it and posted it. And I didn't have a channel yet.
Yeah.
And that went all over well. Well, that was in like May or something of 2022, 2021.
Right.
And then I just let it go. And then the following October, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can't do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, nothing, it won't hurt. So I think it was 2021. I think I'm coming up on my 3-year anniversary now.
Wow.
I
Okay.
started Knife Delights. Yeah.
Yeah. And what made you pick Knife Delights, Tom?
I knew I wanted knife in the title.
Yeah.
And everything I tried to come up with said it's already taken or something very similar come through, and I didn't want to be confused with someone else.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, these knives bring me a lot of joy to collect. And I'm like, well, knife joy doesn't sound right. And kept going through where I thought, delights, they're delightful. Okay, we're just going to call it Knife Delights because I get a lot of delight.
I think it really suits your channel, Tom, and your sort of enthusiasm for sharing knowledge about the knives.
Yeah,
that was one of the things
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I always liked about watching the lives, RJ's lives, or Big J's that you were on, you know, and always a bit of fun as well, which you know, which we might as well, because you know, there's nothing too serious about the our sort of topics. Most of the time, there's nothing to be too serious about, so we might as well have some fun along the way. Sure. And you've shown us a couple of your collection, Tom. So have you got some other ones that you think are really typical of some bucks to show us?
Well, sure. My very first buck knife, and this was, well, I'll just show it. This is a Buck 112.
Right.
And this was my late father-in-law's. And this is from back in the 70s. And you can tell it's one of the early models because there's no nail nick on the blade. Right. And this was given to me, passed down to me from my late father-in-law. And you can see it was well used, well carried. Yeah. And I sent this into Buck, and they did the spot treatment on it and refurbished it all, put a factory edge back on it. And then I put it back up because I don't want to lose it. I just would not want to lose it. So the story with Buck is what really put Buck on the map. I mean, Hoyt Buck started in 1902, hand forging blades, and then him and his son and his grandson, they really got involved. But it wasn't until like 1961 when they really incorporated the company and really what you would call a modern company, started doing modern production.
Yeah.
And one of the first knives that they came out with in like 63, 64, and I think it was the prototype was made in 63, but it wasn't available till 64, although some might have been 60. I don't know. But about that time frame, they came out with the iconic Buck 110.
Yeah.
And this is the first 110 that I bought, and it is from the 90s. And it's got that nice, really tiger striping wood in there.
Beautiful.
And this is not the ebony, because there was an embargo on using ebony for many years because ebony's endangered in that. So I'm not quite sure what wood this is. And instead of the traditional black leather pouch, it came with this nylon pouch, and you can see the old Buck logo from the 90s.
Ah, right, yeah.
So I think
That's cool.
this is sometime in the 90s.
Yeah. Sean, did you have something? Yeah, go on, Sean. Sean?
I was going to say, just bring Tom up so he's full screen, because
sorry,
I'd like to have a closer look.
Okay. And then you were wondering, of course, their lockback knife and their locking mechanism, not that they're the first one to come up with a lock, but they're the ones that really kind of perfected, the back lock, and now you see them mid-lock and back locks both. And that's been duplicated by many, many knife companies over the years. And then here's a Buck 55. They call it the 55. Supposedly it's half scale of the Buck 110, is why they call it the 55. And this is with walnut inlays.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I got this in like 2017 or so.
See, I'd really I think that's just the right size for me, but I wouldn't be able to carry it in the UK because of the lock. So
because it's locking,
if they could just do a slip joint version of that, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Is that the size of that Puma I sent you, Tom?
Yep.
I had that Puma. It was a heck of a find. I got it for a few dollars.
Yeah.
I got this. And it's a most copied pattern though is the Buck 110.
Hold on, I might have it handy here. Didn't you send me a Frontier also?
Yeah.
You sent me a Frontier.
That Frontier was killer deal. It was a railroad.
Yep. Union Pacific Railroad.
I got that for $5.
Yeah, isn't that something?
$5.
And Frontier was a brand made by Imperial.
I could not believe I found that.
Yeah. But yeah, you can see, I mean, that backlock is copied by everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the funnest things for me anyways, for about knife collecting is it's giving people knives. Not just like knives that they want, but something that so Ray, his dog had passed away. So I found a knife that he wanted from a company. He wanted a Schrade knife. So I found a Schrade knife. Then I found another knife with dogs on it. So I had John J.O. Ventures make a slip where it had footprints and paw prints walking on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And doing something like that made me happy that it made him happy.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It was, I like, but speaking of gifts, I got this really cool one I just wanted to show. This is an old German knife. It's just it's a budget knife. What does that say? FES. And it's kind of like Richards or Old Imperial.
Yeah.
The Native American on the side. Put it that way.
Ah, yeah.
Beautiful green kind of marble effect. This was a gift from Tom at Knife Delights. Has a bottle opener, which I love. I think that's so handy to have that on the knife.
Yeah.
But this is really cool. It's great condition. It's a budget knife. And but somebody took care of it. And it's just beautiful. Really, I love the old fish knives with the cap lifter on it.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. And just to add to what Tom was saying, my most carried knife, and I use it so much.
Yeah.
I think after I carry after I'm done with your challenge, it's going to be the compact. because I think I just want to try the minimalist approach.
Yeah.
That's going to be my carry. But I just wanted to say thanks to Tom. I think when I first did a video on it, I said it was a cheap knife. But when I mean cheap, I just mean budget. It was,
yeah.
Those were tourist knives.
I loved.
Yeah, you find them in the gift shop or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I was a little kid, and then we'd go to stops on the way up to visit relatives. We'd stop wherever, and there'd be those little flat Zippos or little because it had desert scenes on them. Oh, I want so bad. Oh, to get really. So thank you, Tom.
Yeah, that's cool.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks. And Sean, have you, sorry, go on, Tom, and then we come to Sean.
Well, so for slip joints, let me start with this one. Buck is mostly known for their saw cut Velox. Velox is very similar to Delrin. It's got to get in all that chemistry stuff. There's a couple molecules difference, but basically the same thing. And this is what you think of as a traditional Buck slip joint knife. This is the 307 Wrangler. Unfortunately, they don't make this anymore. This one was made between 72 and 86. And it is new old stock. And when Buck first got into the slip joint business, they first contracted with Schrade, and then for a couple years, and then they had Camillus make them until about 1986. And you can tell this is one of the Camillus made because of the long French pull there, that big long nail nick. It's a dead giveaway that it was made by Camillus. So the Wrangler is like a jumbo Stockman.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Buck does do some custom work and come out with special editions every now and then. This one came out in 1991. It's one of their trappers with a smooth blue bone.
Oh, I love that blue color.
Yep. Limited edition. Or the, 1991 ABCA, which is American Baseball Coaches Association, as far as I can track down.
Yeah.
So one of 1,500. And the number's on here somewhere. I think this is number 1610 or something like that. So just a couple of their traditional slip joint knives here. And I think I'll try to show something from each category, and then if we have more time, we can get more in depth. But we'll kind of go category to category if you'd like.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. And Sean, did you have something to show? Yeah.
Well, talking of sort of previously we mentioned Taurus knives. Richards from Sheffield were notorious for making Taurus knives, and this is one that some of my Welsh friends might appreciate. And while we're about it, I better say Nosbar to everybody from Wales. Traditional Welsh costume there on that one. And then one that's close in proximity to me would be one from Skegness.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Resorts.
Good old
we've also
Skeggy,
got a 1953 coronation model from Queen Elizabeth.
Very cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Little penknife.
They're fun knives. They're really fun knives to have. And Richardson budget knives.
But they've also got Now, this is one I know nothing about, but it's made by Royal. It's got a scene of Niagara Falls on there.
Yeah.
And interestingly and illegally in the UK, it's a little flick blade.
Wow.
And it's also got a flick nail cleaner and file.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a
Made
grooming
by,
knife.
well, it says on the tang, it says Royal.
Right.
I don't know whether you can see that. You probably won't.
Yeah. And is that a maker then, Sean?
I can work out which way to go. Well, I don't know. I know nothing about it at all.
Yeah.
Nothing about it at all. But it's a tiny, I guess, like a little gentleman's curry.
That's what they used to call a grooming knife.
Just something a little bit different.
Yeah.
There's some of that.
And crazy,
Absolutely,
it's
yes,
not legal to carry in the UK. So it's still legal to own, but not to carry. I think
actually even legal, not even legal to own.
Oh really? I don't think you should.
999.
I thought you could still own them but not carry them. Isn't that? I need to check. I think you've made some of our Welsh contingency very very happy.
Own them, to be honest.
And Griff has said that's a rare knife. Just to say, we've got Elan in the house. Yeah. Sorry, Elan, it's my fault. I'm still getting. So Tom is easy on the eyes, a lot easier than Junior. I have to say, Tom, whenever Junior has appeared on some of the previous live shows, I always find that a little bit scary because we're never quite sure what he's going to do.
I sent him out for ice cream, so he should not be interrupting us.
Oh, that's good. I feel happier about that. And yeah, thanks. I'm still getting
Tammy.
Yeah, Miss Tammy is a lot more palatable, I think.
Yeah.
So,
she's the one that took Junior for ice cream. So
that's okay. That's good. So anyway, it's great to have Elan. Elan's very very prolific in the chat from the look of it. So and I know he's one of Mrs. C's favorites, and she'll be pestering to get him back on the live again because he's somebody else who's fairly easy on the eyes as well. So but that's great. Thanks for that. And I'm not quite sure how we've got to 999, but anyway, sorry, Tom, you've got another knife to show, yeah?
I think it might be the flick knife, Mark.
So when you start talking about actually collecting knives,
hang on.
Whoop.
We love
that's better. Sorry, that's
hit the wrong button, didn't you?
Yeah,
I've done that too. Yep. This is one of the very first buck fixed blades that I bought just for a collection, and it's from the 1990s. It's got the Cocobolo handle and the brass guard and pommel, and it's the buck 102. And it's one of my favorite buck knife patterns. I have 5 or 6 of this in this pattern. I just love the little 102. It's just awesome. 4-finger grip, just fits on there. I wear, large to extra large size gloves, maybe average male hand, and it's just a very nice little size. And again, from the 90s, it came in this, instead of the traditional black leather, came in this reddish brown, and it's got the old buck logo on there from the 90s stamped into it.
Cool.
I hit antique shops a lot, and pawn shops and places like that. And I came across this knife, and we'll look at the sheath. It's just simply got a buck stamped on it, but there's nothing else stamped on it.
Yeah.
And I just saw this in a showcase, and I must have saw this for 3 or 4 months and kind of looked at it a couple times, but I'd never, asked the clerk to get it out to actually look at it because I thought it was just a China-made knife. I didn't know. And then one day I actually asked them to get it out for me, and I saw up there it says Buck Custom.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful. I love the covers.
So yeah, those are box elder wood
Beautiful.
covers. The running deer is 24 karat gold plated. And this is based off the model 475 Mini Mentor, which they do not make anymore. So this was out of their custom shop, and it came out in, I think, 2002 or so. But I just thought it odd that, they didn't, usually they stamp the model number or something on the back, but they didn't on this custom. Yeah. So it kind of surprised me a little bit, but
that was really nice.
I got it for a steal. I got it for a steal for what this knife is. And then we'll just do one more quick one here, one more fixed blade. And this is the 113. And it was originally came out in 2012 as like the elk skinner. And it was so popular that they decided to add it to their lineup. But this is a skinner knife. And I got this from the custom shop. I got the brass bolsters on it. And that's blue wood.
Yeah. That's a crazy grind on that. It's
hollow grind there. A slight drop point. But it is for, skinning hides.
Yeah.
It's got a nice sharpening choil in it there. And this costs $10 extra, but I got the sheath in the brown distressed leather.
That's not bad.
And a lot of the Buck sheaths are made in Mexico, but on some of their models, they do have them made here in the USA. So that's just a bonus for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, nice, Tom.
And Randy, sorry, let's put you up.
I just got. I'll do 3 quick ones. This one again is the Buck 301 Velox, and a shout out to Mikey Newman for helping me replace this blade or this blade.
He's a good guy, that Mikey Newman.
Mikey Newman's awesome. So I wanted to do this one though. It's a Buck 309, and this one's actually gonna, hopefully, if it doesn't get lost, make its way to Mikey Newman. He just has a really nice pin blade though. A beautiful clip point and killer walking on it. It's just, I just wanted to show the Velox. But then I have my favorite grooming knife. It's probably my worst one. This old German knife. And I don't know if I can get it to show up very well, but it's Art Deco style. It's wood.
Yeah.
So this was a pin blade, and this was a spear point. Another pin blade, but it still has the little nail file and cleaner. But I didn't really care that it was broken. I got a killer deal on it, but I had to get something beautiful.
It's cool looking, that one. Yeah,
I've never seen anything that beautiful. It's just like a fantastic knife. So I just wanted to show that one off. This one is going to come to you, Mikey Newman, soon, hopefully.
That's cool. That's cool. And Sean, you got anything else to show? Have you got any Buck knives, Sean? I think we've got a delay with Sean. Are you there, Sean?
I'm here. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get an American Buck, and I must do some, but all I've got is a Chinese 371. Yeah, 371.
Okay.
But it's still, although it's Chinese and that's not really my preference, it's still a good little knife.
Yeah.
Still got the three back springs.
Yeah.
If you can see them. Yeah.
So that's a Stockman, yeah? A Stockman?
The spay. Yeah. The spay that kind of has more of a kind of pen-shaped spay. Just got that slight point to the tip there. But it's still a good knife, and it's one I've had quite a long time, and I've carried and used a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the sheep's foot on that.
The tarnishing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good little blade. Good little knife.
Yeah.
I've got a few of the books, but many years ago, back in the 90s, I couldn't afford a book. I wanted a book, 110, but I picked this little, well, it's a not so much little, it's quite a chunky blade, but it's a Japanese made. You can see that 440.
Is that saber?
It says 440 stainless. There's no branding on it at all.
But I like the blade shape though.
It's a chunk.
Oh yeah, it's pretty
it's
thick.
A chunky old piece. If you look at it next to a 110, this being the 110, I mean, it is quite a. Anybody that knows how big a 110 feels,
yeah,
it's a hefty old blade, and although I suspect it's only a fairly basic thing, it's been really tough and it's really done some work, this thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know whereabouts in Japan it was made, whether it was Seiki City or I don't know, but it's been a good old knife, really.
Just a guess, probably saber.
But yeah, possibly.
We have a request,
Possibly,
Sean.
but it's been good.
So,
but one of my
we have a request. So that they're asking if is it Andrew from Baxter's Blades? Is it his birthday today?
But that was a while ago.
Ah, okay. That's a bit cheeky then. If he had it a while ago.
I mean,
Don't worry, Sean. Carry on. I'm sure Andrew's had a few birthday greetings.
I don't know.
You're one of my favourites. The smaller size piece, the Squire.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, that's a nice size, isn't it? Yeah.
Again, for the UK, it would be lovely as a slip joint.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've had this now for a good few years, and it's one I love to carry. Great little knife.
Well, Sean, my little brother carries a 501 in the pouch on his belt. He carries it every day. That's his favorite knife.
It's a great size.
We jump.
Yeah, I can see why. Tom.
Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, they do. I mean,
playing musical
there's
chairs.
some great budget versions, don't they? I mean,
hang on, Sean. Let me pop that up. So what's this one?
So this is the 444.
Nice.
Yep, that's a nice size too.
It's got the Zytel, I think it's Zytel handles.
Yeah.
Incredibly lightweight knife, but cracking edge on it. Great little piece. One I put a kind of high vis lanyard on it because of it being black.
Yeah.
If you're out kind of in the field with this and you drop it, bit of high vis cord on the end helps you spot it, pick it back up again. But yeah.
Fine.
Cheap and cheerful, but decent blade on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before you, I got like 10 seconds. I just want to show this one. This is
And
a
then
marble. It's a buck.
the the marbles.
Yeah, it's a marbles buck copy in VG10, and it's the same length. It's the same length as a buck, but look how thin that is.
Yeah.
And Tom, I wanted to show you one knife. If you want it, I have a Klein electrician's knife.
Nice.
So it's blades though.
Yeah.
How many blades has that got? Yeah.
So
3
it was
blades.
gunky, and so I soaked it in Vapor Rust, and the blades turn black. So there's a lot of work ahead of you to get this fixed up. But you got a hawkbill, and then the second you just have a regular spear point blade, and then the third, if I can get it out, this one's kind of tough. You have your screwdriver, zipper, and a locking. I'll show you the lock. You lock right there. So really,
they like that for an electrician. Having that half hawk is handy because you can split your wires as you're cutting down through. That's why they like the half hawk on it.
Yeah, yeah.
that
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of getting money.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I'm saving it for you, though. I promise.
Okay, right. Zen has said, so Andrew's only just received a birthday present, so it's been traveling coast to coast.
Oh.
Okay. That.
I saw
Junior,
Andrew's
so
video this morning.
Junior.
No.
Sorry, go on, Tom.
I was going to say the package came by me, and before I had a chance to review and talk about it, Junior jumped in and did it, and Junior sang "Happy Birthday" to Andrew. So
okay. Oh, that's good.
That's on my video from back in July, maybe June, July time frame, August.
I've just got a request from Elan, which is, could you show us your Buck Maverick?
I can do so. Before that, I got a couple here. I'll show quick, and then I'll look for it.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Okay,
show us that, and then we'll go over to Sean because
So we'll do these here real quick. I do buy some modern Buck knives, and this is the Buck Sprint Pro Ops, and with the blue and black G10. They only had this for 1 year, and what is it? It's a S30V steel.
Nice.
It's a liner lock. The only reason I got this knife is because I was in one of the local farm supply stores, and they had it marked 50% off. This knife was going for like $150 or something like that, and I just don't spend money on that for, like a knife like this.
Yeah.
If it's a collector's piece, maybe I have a few in that range. But when I could get it for like, what was it, $75 or $80, and I looked up online, saw it was a kind of a special production run on them anyway, I went ahead and pulled the trigger on it. But here is an example of one of their modern knives. And then when we talk about collecting and you can't have them all, this is what I'm talking about here. We have this little one here, and this is called the Buck 886 Tact Light, and it was only made in 2004.
And copper scales?
No, that's wood.
Oh, wow.
So just look at this knife.
Looks at first.
But it was only made 1 year. I had no idea that this knife even existed, and one of my viewers sent this to me. What a special gift!
Oh wow, yeah.
So that's how it goes with collecting. I mean, there's Buck knives out there I have no idea they even exist.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Okay, and it was the Buck Maverick he wanted to see.
Yes, please, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look for it here.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thanks. Go on then, Sean. Did you have another one to show?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I mean, I've got the Vanguard.
Nice.
Now this one was, I believe, is when they first came out. It was just in the basic 440.
Yeah.
It's had a bit of use, as you can probably tell by the blade.
Yeah.
And this was kind of, I don't remember when I bought it. A few years back. But it's a little work knife. And you know, if you're in the UK and you're carrying a locking knife, if you've got a good reason to have one, that's okay. And I mean, if you're working in an environment where a fixed or a folding locking knife is a safer option, I think that's kind of justified.
Yeah.
And then this, a tiny little. Let me get blind to myself. Sorry, guys, the lighting's bad. 525, I think. Tom will tell me. But this was a special edition one.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a nice size, isn't it?
I'm doing an appalling job.
It's not easy when it's reversed, is it? Yeah.
It's a gentleman's. No.
Yeah.
But it's a locking blade again. But yeah. Nice liners. Nice little drop point blade. Sort of thing to stick in a wash bag or something when you're going away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's safe and legal, you know.
Yeah.
So, custom buck that you found, Tom, that has the stag in the middle cut out.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That custom buck knife you found with the little gold. Was it a stag in the middle?
No. That's Box Elder Burrowwood handles.
Yeah, that one. So he's out in the UK. He has a similar one. I just saw pictures of it. The cutout is an eagle.
The eagle, yeah.
Gold, and then there's a feather that's carved onto the scales.
Oh, okay.
It looks really beautiful. I can't show it. I can maybe send a picture to Mark, but I don't know if he can show it either.
Sure. Yeah.
I can maybe show it if it's in the Discord.
But it's a beautiful knife.
Yeah.
You guys both on that one.
Yeah.
Well, you got there,
Mark. But I also have a request. After you show this one,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That one is. I love that one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll dig it out.
Show us this one then, Tom. Let's see this.
Now there are different Maverick models. There's actually a fixed blade named Maverick, so I'm hoping this is the Maverick that he's wanting to see. And this one has the script lettering, and it's the Buck 704, and this one was made from 1983 to 1985. Now, Buck did not put the date symbols on until 1986. So you can see even the tang stamp is in cursive or italics, the Buck, as is the shield. So this is the 704. There were 5 knives in the 700 series. They were fancy slip joints. Here is the 701 Bronco, and it was originally named the Maverick, I believe. This one's from later on. This one's 1999. And you can see this one doesn't have a shield on it at all.
That's really cool.
So again, when you're getting into the Buck knives, the collecting, it's however far you want to go. You know, do I want one of these made prior to 86? It has the script shield on it too. I mean, I have one copy in each of these series, but they're all a little different because of the shields and the date stamps. Just real quick, this is a Buck 301. And this is the very first version. This was made under contract by Schrade. And this is version 1, and it's the only 301 that I am aware of that has the threaded bolster on it. And that's how you tell this was made in like 1967 or 68.
That's awesome.
So this is one of their very first
Fantastic.
slip joint knives. And lastly, again, they do sometimes come out with like limited runs. Here's a 301 with the red jig bone.
Oh wow.
Well,
Yeah.
So
that's gorgeous.
the 301 is probably the best Stockman EDC.
Yep, they're a very good knife. And you wanted to see that CRKT?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll show this while you're looking. This is a CRKT. What is it? The Hiho or what is it?
Baki. Baki?
Akari. This one's the Akari.
Oh, the Akari, yeah.
He has a synthetic eel skin with in green, and it's just that texture of the twine that's on it. So good. It's not going to slip in your hand. There's no guard if it's scary when you're using it, but it'll secure in your hand once you use it. They had two versions. They had this one that kind of tipped up, and they have another one that was kind of tipped down. I got the tip up one because I wanted to get another one. That was the one that Tom has, and they got like a really nice sheath, pocket clip, so when you put it in your pocket, it'll hook on there and you can pull it out. You can put it on your belt loop with this lanyard. Really cool bead. So a really cool knife, but I couldn't get. There was one I really wanted, and it was the one that Tom's gonna show, and it's. But go ahead, switch to the Tom because that was my favorite. I love that one. It has like a
Obaki
plate on it. I love the red.
Yep, it's got the synthetic eel skin.
Yeah.
You know, there's no guard on here, so when you first get it, you're like, oh, what if my hand slips and gets up onto the blade? But that is so.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
Your hand's not slipping on that stuff.
Not at all.
And
that's
it's
a
designed,
fantastic blade shape, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's designed so you can put this around your belt loop or around your belt, and then you can tuck this in your waist. So for self-defense purposes, you can reach back behind you and grab it, and you can just pull, and the sheath stays dangling on either your belt or belt loop.
Which it's such an awesome feature. I never
used one-handed removal. See?
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty cool knife.
The shape of that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Very decent self-defense weapon too.
It is, and sharp. Woo!
And
it is sharp.
So, we've been going now for nearly an hour and a half. I can't believe how quickly the time has gone, and so I just wanted to. There's a feature in the show, Tom, that we do, and we can maybe show a couple of knives afterwards. But there's a feature called Keep, Carry, Scrap.
Okay.
Which, let me just get the presentation up, and I know Sean sent me some pictures, which we'll get to. Right, that's good. We can see this. So I'm just going to jump ahead, and we can come back to some of Sean's pictures. So the premise for this is it's a game. So I'm going to show you three knives. Hopefully, I picked out three different makers to make it a bit more interesting. And one is you have to select to keep. So, but this is one that you keep in your collection, but you don't carry. The second one you pick to carry, so it's a user that you're going to have in your pocket and use a lot. And then the third one is to scrap, but you can give it away. So, okay. So, the three I've gone for Stockmans because I've seen you've got a few Stockmans here. So this first one, this is a Fighting Bull Stockman that's in giraffe bone.
Oh wow!
So an unusual material. And it says Wendell Carson. I guess that's who made it. The second one is a 2013 case Civil War stag Stockman. So you've got both sides of the Civil War represented. And then this third one is a Buck 301 Stockman. It's a limited edition in elk antler. And you can see you've got the elk footprints in there.
Let me try to respond first with my best British accent. You're being quite the nasty chap. That probably was terrible, but you're being very nasty, Mark.
100%.
How do I choose here?
Well, that's what I was hoping. I mean, my favorite episode of this was when I had some case knives for poor Kalen. So Kalen was on my recorded show, and he changed his mind about twice through the choice.
I'm going to eliminate one right away.
Okay.
The fighting bull I'm going to eliminate or scrap.
Okay.
And the only reason I know of is they're not made in the USA, right?
I don't know.
I don't think they are. So to make things life easier, I'm going to go with the 2 USA knives. So the case and the Buck, okay?
Yeah.
So I got the scrap. I would have to say the 301 Stockman. That's going to be my safe queen. I'm going to put up the Buck to keep, and then I will carry and use the 2013 case.
Right. Okay. That's. I mean, there are no wrong or right answers.
Right.
Sean. So before and then I'll show you how much they were being sold for on eBay afterwards. So Sean, which would you pick? Sean?
Say again, Mark, I lost you.
Yeah. Sorry, Sean. Which ones would you pick?
Do you know, I think I'd go with Tom's choice, actually.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. And Randy, anything different?
Complete opposite.
Okay.
So I love Buck. I really do. Out of all the knives, Buck is the best. But I don't like that design. I don't like it at all. So I'd scrap the Buck 301. I'd keep the case Civil War one, and then I'd carry the fighting bull.
Okay.
I think the fighting bull, I would love to carry it or keep it either way. It's a beautiful knife.
Randy, you're no longer my friend, Randy.
So I think let's see, Dan Stan. So he would have the Buck fighting bull and the case. Mrs. C would keep the case. Oh, Zen has said there's no right or wrong answers yet. Mrs. C would keep the case knife for sure. And and then just looking at these are the selling prices on eBay.
Oh wow! I picked the right keeper.
So, well, I think that was in everybody's. I think the case was in everybody's. So, anyway, I hope you like that choice. That was just a bit of fun. I wish I had them for real.
No kidding.
Maybe if I get as many subscribers as Mr. Beast, then I can do.
There you go.
Big giveaways. I'm really lucky. I've had a good month this month. Well, a good couple of weeks. I just hit 4,000 subscribers, which is great. So, that's the point, Joe. Just go for. And as Slippy would say, now this is going to be a problem. If and when I get Slippy on the show, and I haven't asked him yet, but I'm sure he would at some point. Slippy will just want to have them all. So it's hard to carry. But So I think you did nail it, Tom. So that's great. So as
Well,
time's getting on a bit, so and
do we have time for one more?
that's what I was going to say. Should we go once round the clock?
I just wanted to show that I'm a diverse individual and I am inclusive, okay? Because I do have a sub collection of case knives, and I have a sub collection of bird and trout knives. And one of the bird and trout knives, one of my favorites, is this case.
I love that one.
Mini fin. That's got buffalo horn handle.
It's fantastic.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's.
And there's the wraparound sheath, the new style sheath. And then in an antique store, once again, I found an old vintage case, mini fin. And you can see here, if I put them side by side, there's just a little bit difference in the design.
Yeah.
But
Really slim blades. I really like those. Yeah.
They're little bird and trout knives. Are meant for cleaning, rabbit, squirrel, small fish like that. And then another USA made one. This one is from Barron's Son.
Nice.
Oh, that's really nice.
So,
I mean, we are so jealous in the UK that it's very difficult to walk into secondhand shops and buy knives.
No, that's too bad.
It's a real problem.
I've gotten to where I enjoy that more than ordering them offline or even off of eBay. It's more fun. The hunt, the anticipation, and going in there, and sometimes you got to dig and dig and dig and dig, and every now and then you find a jewel.
It's the thing I miss. The thing I miss about Sunday nights is Big J's show and telling us how he'd had these amazing finds.
Amazing.
And which we just don't do. It's not easy for us to do. Go on, Randy. You've got one to show.
I just real quick. That's the Barton Small I got at the coin shop.
Yeah.
Pre 70s. Has the nail file on the screwdriver. If I can open it, I don't have any nails. But you got the nail file right here.
Oh, that's cool. That's a really unusual Phillips, that one, yeah.
And actually, I should show you guys this. This is probably the coolest. This is what got me. It has a clip point instead of a pin blade. And
okay, yeah.
So I was talking to Slippy. I was just going to send it to him, and he told me they sell for about 100 pounds in good condition in the UK, and that one you got for $5.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
4 pounds.
And Sean, that's cool. And Sean, have you got one to show? Oh, Sean might have frozen.
I have
very still.
He either frozen or he fell asleep. I'm not sure.
It's hard.
Wake up! Wake up,
Sean! There you are. Hang on. Let me.
So this is a 1960s climber.
Nice.
Well, this one needs some work.
Yeah.
But this one actually is destined for Randy. While I get it sorted out for him.
Thank you for that.
So we've got a broken off can opener and a broken off small blade, which was the clip point. It wasn't broken off until I tried to straighten it. But there's somebody over here in the UK.
Oh, did we lose Mark?
Dan at Blade Bridge Customs.
Dan at Blade Bridge. I'll get a link to his.
Who can make this right again?
I will.
Get when I get it sorted, it's on his way to Arizona.
If he has enough fingers. So Dan from Blade Bridge is missing some digits.
So yeah. And also, while we're waiting for Mark to get back, there's a nice vintage Opinel number 12.
Oh,
nice. The beast.
Yeah, number 12. This is a handful of a knife.
I've got a number 8
It's
that
got, let's have a look. Let's have a measure. So you're looking at 4.5-inch blade.
Oh wow. Is that Warncliffe?
And a handle of 6.25 inch. No, clip. It's the Arpinel clip. So yeah, 6.25 inch handle, which even for me, with
That's a beast.
quite large hands, it's
what size is that,
Sean?
Sean?
Handful.
Number 12.
Oh wow.
So it's a number 12, 4.5-inch blade, 6.25 inch handle.
Wow. Probably feels like
It's
a
an
hat.
old one. It's before they had the locking barrel. Well, it's a locking barrel, but on the modern ones it locks when it's closed. This one doesn't.
Just when it's yeah, okay, just when it's open, yeah. Oh, that's cool.
It only locks when it's open.
Yeah. Sorry about that. We had a power blip. There's a storm here, and our power just flicked off. So that's why we've changed round again. It's sort of like musical chairs here. So
it is.
It's Sean's show now.
yeah, it's
take the lead, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, you need to start. We've been pestering Sean to start his own channel, and he's recently bought a computer. So hopefully, he's going to do that. So just a quick look, just to see. And sorry, I've not been good at keeping up the chat. I really like looking at the knives and hearing from everyone. So that's the most important thing. So a real apologies for people who are here. So just a big welcome to Joe Isabella. So he's carrying a case medium Stockman, and I'm just checking. So yeah, I think Tom nailed it from Mikey. Thanks for that. And Jo Ventures, he loved that. So I think people have been loving the knives here, and so that's good. Yeah, I mean, it's not the storm here, Mrs. C. Yeah, everything's fine here. It's just I live in the country, and sometimes you get a bit of a blip when there's a storm. So so that's good. So yeah, I mean, I haven't shown many knives. One knife that I like to show that I don't very often. So and unfortunately I don't have any buck knives yet, but I just thought if I can just put myself up on here. So this is one of my favorite knives that I have in my collection, and it's in a Randy slip, which everybody knows is a very sought after slip. I keep it with a small pen so that when I do carry it, I've not been carrying it this month, so that but it's really handy for that. And this one is the Victorinox money clip. And it's really like a classic SD, but bigger. So it has this super pair of scissors, and they're a nice size for cutting. And then it has a blade, a nail file with a nice nail cleaner on it, and a super size blade. So that's a really useful size. And it's an Alox. It's the smooth Alox, which I really like. Nice. So
those are really neat.
That was a gift from Randy, and with the slip as well. So that's never going to leave my collection. This one. So,
very nice.
I think we've been going for a while now, and I think
seems like we just got started though.
Yeah, and but it's starting to get a bit late here, and I really wanted to thank everybody for joining. A big thank you to Sean and Randy, who are my regulars. So thanks for keeping with me in this. And I know Randy comes sometimes, and He had a week off last week. Great to have you here, Randy, which is brilliant because and Randy has obviously his own channel, and he has his own live show with Jesse McJames. And is that on next Saturday, Randy?
Not yet. We're taking a break for a little bit.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll get it figured out and get back to it.
Fantastic. We're looking forward to that, and we'll speak to Randy about coming on this show at some point as well. We might do an Axe special, which I think would be really cool. Big thank you to Sean, and please everybody put in the chat if you think Sean should have his own show because he's got so many knives. I think we'd like to do that. Yeah, great thing for one of Randy's stickers. And then last of all, Tom, a big thank you. And Tom's show, he does a chat show, a recorded show, and that was my first time of showing my face on YouTube. So I was quite nervous, and Tom was brilliant. He reached out to me fairly early. I was in the chat of one of the shows, and it was just fantastic. And I think Tom is the epitome of the sort of the YouTube knife community. And a big thank you to Tom, because a lot of us are sort of doing this, following in your footsteps, and the same with RJ and TK and Paddy and a lot of the people that have had shows for a while. We really appreciate that. So a big thank you. I'm really pleased you could come on the show and show some of your bucks. The great thing is that you have such a large collection that in a while it'll be great to get you back on here again, because I think as I might have said earlier, but I certainly said before the show, I really miss RJ's lives and Big J's lives. They were a key part of my Sunday evening. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. I need to get some proper stickers. So I'm hoping to get them on the show as well. And a big thank you, because I've learned so much through knives. And I'm not strictly a knife guy. I know I probably protest too much about that. I'm sort of EDC and knives, but I sort of hang out with the knife guys because they're cool, and I learn a lot. I now know swedges from drop points, and I think we'll have to do a show on that actually about
blade shapes.
About blade shapes and how not to sound like a newbie when you're talking to other people about knives.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, a huge thank you, a big thank you to everybody in the chat, and Mrs. C. Sorry, a question from Mrs. C. Another one of her favorite young men is Kalen, and I think we'd love to get Kalen on the show. Shout out, Sean.
So, Mark, I just wanted to shout out Chirk, who's on the Discord, and he's launched a channel very recently, this last week, Blue Collar Knives.
Yeah.
Everybody go across and give him a sub. He's a great guy, fantastic sense of humour.
Yes.
And he was on with TK and Slippy earlier today. So, yeah. Would really appreciate if everybody could go along and give him a sub.
Yeah, I don't think there are many people that weren't in Slippy and Thrifty's show, but if you were, go back and watch it. It was a brilliant show. Chirk was fantastic, and so that is well worth catching it. And of course, to the Slip Joint Sanitarium. If you're not in that Discord group, that's certainly where some of us hang out. There's a bit of knife chat along with a load of chat about other stuff as well. But I just give a warning. If you do start going in there, you will buy more knives, okay? But that said, you will be buying better knives, and you get a good idea of what's good to buy, what's not, from the people in there. So that they're all fantastic people. They've kept me going at times when I've been struggling on YouTube. It's been a great place to go. So anyway, a big thank you to everybody. If you can stay on, Tom and Sean and Randy, just for a few minutes after the show, that'd be great. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back next week. I'm not quite sure who the guest will be, but and they struggle to be as good as Tom, but we'll do our best to find somebody great. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the Sunday. Thanks. Bye.